What is up, you beauties? My name is BatchatBegins and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're actually going to be talking about another one of the tanks that did get buffed in patch 8.7, that being the T92E1, the American tier 9 light tank. Now this thing is basically, for all intents and purposes, a Sheridan at tier 9, meaning that when it sees tier 8 games, this thing absolutely crushes enemies. Now it doesn't have, super fantastic gun stats, but it does make up for that in how the gun does handle in-game. Now, specifically, the buff that the 92E1 did get, as you can see, we're going to scroll down here just a little bit. I believe it's up here, actually. As you can see, the APCR shell velocity was rather poor there at 690, going all the way up now to 920, and the heat did get reduced a little bit, but now it is 880, which is not too bad, still above that 690 that it originally was. And the HE shell velocity also has gone up by about 60, which is not too bad. And that definitely will affect how the gun handles in game. You'll be able to hit longer shots now with this tank. Not saying that you should camp at the back of the map, but if you are aiming at people that are on the move, trying to run away from you, it is a little bit easier to go ahead and hit them. So with that being said, let's get into a bit of the statistics for the T92. It's got very decent HP sitting at 1700 for a light tank, and it has good view range and camo while on the move. Actually, this tank has just about the same camo as the Waffenträger, the tier 9 Waffle, when it is sitting still when this thing is on the move. It's actually crazy. It's got very subpar DPM, only 2,000, but the thing is, this thing is an absolute beast at trading. It's got 220 on the armor piercing, the APCR ammo. It's got 341 on the heat, making it a very, very solid gun. Obviously, the alpha is a little bit lower because that's kind of the niche with American lights. It's 560 compared to the 640 for most normal 150mm guns. And that being the case, you will low roll a little bit when you do use your heat ammo. It's not going to be as punchy, but you'll still be able to absolutely chunk some people when you do get them distracted. And that is the important thing to do. I've said this in like 3 videos this week, but you want to be able to be trading shots in when people aren't focused on you. So make sure to use your teammates, use your mobility, use your positioning to get into those positions where you can trade in a shell when someone's not paying attention and absolutely ruin their HP pool. And the crazy thing about this tank too is not only does it have this massive gun and this low profile with a troll upper plate, it also has 10 degrees of gun depression and ridiculous mobility. That being said, we've talked enough about the statistics of this tank. As you can see, if you needed to know my consumable loadout, provisions, and equipment, here they are. Let's go ahead and get into the first game of the day. Now, I wasn't super tryharding with the 92 because I just found it to be a fun tank, so I asked SpaceBot to go ahead and help me out, just, play a few games with me just so I could get used to the tank and how the gun now feels after the buff. And I can tell you guys, it feels great. So in the first game, we are spotting here on the Vineyards map, and I do something interesting on Vineyards most of the time when I play. I always, when I'm on this spawn, I try to rush up near the A ramp to see if I can spot the mediums when they are capping the base. And you'll see a very, very neat spot where you can go ahead and reset the A cap here in just a little while. So what we're gonna do is try and hug the lower river here so that we don't get spotted going over to here. And it looks like the majority of their mediums are not here. They do have 3, but we haven't seen them yet. And this is the spot I was talking about where you can go ahead, pull out and reset the A cap. The Pershing had no idea we were coming because we did stay unspotted. And thanks to that good accuracy on the move that the 92 has, we didn't have to aim in that much. And we were able to go ahead and reset his cap points. Now, our other light tank is here, and he does reset him, meaning that we do go ahead and reset A completely, and the Pershing is actually forced to move off the cap. You can see just how strong the 92E1 is against tier 8 mediums. It absolutely ruins their day. So at this point, I'm thinking to myself, well, I could go ahead and rush in, but I'm not sure where their Waffle is. Looks like he's there in town, but I do still want to try and get this cap just in case our friendly team does get overwhelmed. And thankfully, our Progetto 46 does help me out in capping the base. So at this point, we're just trying to see if maybe there's any shots that we can take as an opportunity. Maybe, take the T54 lightweight out of the game or potentially shoot anybody on the cross. I probably should have gone, I'll tell you, I made a mistake there. I should have gone for the E50. The reason being is not only does the IS-3 have some troll side armor when it comes to this gun, the E50 is a higher tier tank. So I did make a mistake there in focusing him first. I should have gone for the E50. But we do get a very nice shot into the K91. And the great thing about this tank is because we've done that, our team is going ahead and focusing him out. And so we don't have to actually even bother worrying about the K91. He's just going to die very, very easily here at the end of the game. Now, I was being a bit greedy for this. I really should have aimed a little bit better, but unfortunately, I do catch the Waffles gun, and we still end up doing about 440 to him, so unfortunately, that guy didn't have the world's best experience in dealing with a tier 9 light tank. And fortunately, we do go ahead and get the dub, just kind of trolling a little bit at the end, ramming the E50 and getting that kill. So overall, as you can see, the mobility is great, the accuracy on the move is great with this tank, and now because of that improved shell velocity, we were able to hit that T54 lightweight on the move and that IS-3 on the move very, very easily without having to even think about it too much, and Space did a good job holding as well in his Comp Panzer 70. So moving on into the next battle of the day, just kind of showing you how much chaos you can cause with this tank. Like, they have quite a good light and medium lineup here, the Leopard PTA, the Object 84, and the T49. Compared to us, we have myself and a T55A. We're the only medium, so it's going to be a little bit tricky to see what we can do here on the medium side of the map. Of course, I don't want to get into a brawling engagement with the Object or the Leopard. Even the 49 could be an issue if he does pin me. So we do have to play it safe until we figure out where those tanks are. And then with this thing's mobility, we can go in lightning fast and try and cause as much chaos as possible. And you know, while I am focusing on the win most games, in tanks like this, I just love to go out there and have fun, you know, just like when I'm playing the 49. This shot was a bit unfortunate. I think I may have over-aimed that because I was expecting, you know, the old shell velocity, so I expected it to take a little bit longer. It looks like it did snap right into his gun mantlet, so just a little bit unfortunate from myself there. But it seems like our team is going to go ahead and mop him up, so that's a tier 9 light tank out of the battle within the first couple of minutes. So luckily, that gives us the opportunity to go ahead and see what kind of havoc we can cause in the flank. And at this point, I was talking to Space. I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and test out the HE. See how the HE is on these tier 9 TDs and, well, not TDs, but the tier 9 heavy tanks they have on their team. And as you can see, the HE is nice. It's not going to be rolling like you would in like a 268 or Rheinmetall Borsig. You know, those can roll up to 1,000 damage on HE, almost 1,200 damage on HE. This thing, you're not going to be getting those really, really high HE shots, unfortunately, but it is still fun to go ahead and put those shells in. As you can see here, loading another HE just to go ahead and test it. I was thinking maybe aim for the back of the turret bustle, but I did go ahead and aim for the ammo rack, and unfortunately, not only did we low roll, we didn't ammo rack him. So unfortunate, but we did get a very nice HE into his side. Now at this point, I kind of forgot they had an MIL2, so at this point, I'm just panicking. I'm like, oh goodness, I've kind of made a mistake. You know, what can I do? So at this point, we're just gonna try and maneuver our way out, you know, wiggling as we go to try and mess with the Conqueror's aim. And at this point, I'm thinking, well, I could save the T49, but I don't want to get shot by the Conqueror. So we're gonna continue wiggling and just go ahead and go after the Leopard PTA instead, because this is a very, very easy HE shot into the side of the Leopard if you didn't know. The Leopard has very, very poor side armor, and its frontal armor is not that great against very high pen HE like 268s, you know, 183s that can take advantage of it as well. But as you can see, what I'm trying to do here is present him the hardest target. I'm trying to maneuver, be on his side as much as I can, and thanks to that, we do make him miss a couple shots and unfortunately get into a little bit of a traffic jam here with our friendly Waffle and our friendly IS-3. But thanks to that traffic jam, we are able to go ahead, cause some confusion, get the Leopard taken out, and just, you know, scooch our way past the turret of the AMX there, try and get a shot into the ML. Really should have loaded the heat there. Obviously, the penetration on the APCR is not too bad, but it's not anything spectacular. And as you can see, I'm just doing the same thing I did with the Leopard here on the Conqueror, and using my mobility to kind of confuse him, hopefully make him miss his shot, but in the end, I decided it wasn't worth really, you know, wasting my time on the Conqueror because he is already getting taken out. And as you see, we caused chaos, we made use of the mobility of this tank and just completely tore apart their ranks. They had no idea who to focus in there, and that's something you could do with the 92 because not only does it have crazy alpha, people just want to focus this tank. So if you see an opportunity, just kind of run through their ranks a little bit, you know, stir up some commotion, flank them, shoot somebody from the flank, and then relocate. They'll have to send somebody to counter you. They'll have to send somebody to counter you, and that's why I love this tank so much, is because it is such a nuisance, and it is so strong in that role. It does everything the Sheridan does, but a tier lower. So I would definitely recommend checking this tank out. The shell velocity buff was very solid, and this tank was already one of the top light tanks for me in this game. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. My name has been BatchatBegins, and I will see you guys in the next one.